All right, folks, this is the second activity of the week 8 in the CAD course, winter of 2026, and we're going to do finite element analysis of this part in CATIA V5. However, notice that uh, it says use the smallest portion of the geometry to invoke symmetry. What the situation is this: the bottom edge of this plate is clamped, and this top face is subjected to a force, downward force. You might say, what is the smallest piece that if I do, I know everything about the structure? The answer is 1/6 of the model. See that? 1/6 of the model. Watch this, watch the cursor on the screen. 1/6 of the model, which is a 60-degree sector here. Now, that's what I want. However, in this problem, just to remind you how the process of saving and propagate directory and things like that work, as I did in activity 1, I'm going to do 3 cases. The full model, the 1/3 model, which is going to be 120-degree sector, either like this or like that. It makes no difference. And finally, the 1/6 model, which is exactly what I want. And if this was a test problem, that's what you have to do. You don't have to do all of them. If you want to start 1/6 model, generate it, solve it, and upload it as your work on the test, that's perfectly acceptable. But I'm showing you these because I want to make sure that you don't make a mistake of overriding thing by mis- uh, by uh, by chance. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. I will make the full model first. Let's go here, start with the part file right there. So, okay. All right. So let me make my model, full model first, and then we proceed. So on that horizontal plane, I will sketch. I'll sketch something like that, a circle. I believe this radius is 10 inches. So that radius is 10. Let me change this thing to radius of 10. Good. All right, exit. Okay, exit. There are other ways of doing this problem. This is one way that I'm going to do it, okay? And pad it up by 2 inches. On that top face, I will sketch a circle, dimension. What is that value? That radius is, the radius of that top face is 2. Okay, so 2. That radius is 2. So, okay, exit, and pad it up by 1. Okay. On that top face, I will sketch a circle. Radius, I believe, is 1. Let's check that. The radius of these things, the radius of these, yeah, these little circles is 1. And it's 7 millimeters or 7 inches away. The center is 7 inches away from the center here. 7. Okay, good. Exit, make a pocket all the way to the end. Please, again, remember there are different ways of doing this problem. You can do a shaft, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to do a circular pattern, and first tab here, complete crown, 3 of them. Read it carefully. What is the thing that you want to? What is the thing that you want to make a circular pattern of? Is this pocket? And what is the reference element? For example, the top face or the z-axis. It makes no difference. Notice that it did create 3 holes here for us. Say okay. Good. And let me apply material. Apply material. You're making it out of steel based on the instruction given to you. Good. Now I'm going to save this thing in a folder which is called week 8 activity 2. Okay. So file, save management, save as, uh, desktop. See if I can find my desktop. Desktop, new folder, week 8, activity 2. Now remember, this is going to have 3 folders in it. One for full model, one for the third model, one for the sixth model. Okay, within this, I'm going to, yeah, we'll get there. Not to worry. So first of all, let me see what happened. I have a folder called week 8 activity 2. I forgot to call it activity 2, but that's okay. This is activity 2. Okay. All right. Now, I go here, and now we're going to go do the analysis of this. So let's go to Start, Analysis and Simulation, Generative Structure Analysis, Static Analysis. Okay. Let's see what do we know. We know that the edge here is clamp. Okay, so we go to the edge, clamp, select the edge right there. We know that the top face is subjected to a force of 500 pounds. Distributed force on that top face, minus 500 pounds. Already put it in there. We say, okay. That's pretty much it. So we're going to run it. Done. You want to look at the deflection? There we are. Can animate it, etc. Looks good. Close. Now comes the moment of truth. File, save management, select the analysis file. Select this, save as. Now don't put it in don't put it here. Within this folder, create a new folder called full model problem or activity 2. How about that? Activity 2. And then open and then save. But this is critical. Say propagate directory because I want everything, including a copy of that part that was saved already, go into that into this folder full model activity 2. Don't forget propagate directory. Notice that they're all going in there, and then you say okay. Now just to convince you, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close that, close Catia, and I'm going to close this and take you to that folder. This folder. This was activity 2, which I forgot to just say activity 2. This is the original part that I had, which I made. If I double click on it, it's going to pop up. Let me close this. This is the moment I did the analysis and kept all the stuff in it. If I double click on that, there is my saved analysis. Okay. So let's go ahead and open it up again. Part. Notice that I'm opening it up from not that folder that I created, not the one that says full model. I'm doing it from the one that went into activity week 8 activity 2 folder, which I forgot actually to say to. All right, now I want to cut this thing like that. You see this? I want to cut it. For example, I want to cut it by taking uh, notice that if I cut it, the 1/6 model, okay, 1/6, 1/3 model, there are different ways of doing it. So, for example, let me look at this thing. I want to take 1/6 of this, and there are different ways of doing it. So, let me see what's the best way. Uh, sure. On that, let me look at the view from the top first of all. View from the top. It looks like that. Okay. So one way is to cut it like this, to cut it like that. And another cut is by a plane that's at that angle, at the angle 120 degrees. As I said, there are different ways of doing this thing, so I'm trying to see what's the best way of going about doing that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a point at the center of the circle. Can I do that? Sure. Point, center of a circle, that circle. Okay. All right. There we are. Okay. And for example, I can make a, let me see, what's the best way of doing this thing? Uh, yeah, okay. This may be a good way of doing it. So I'm going to say I'm going to do another point, center of this circle, and then say, okay. Then I'm going to make a line. This is terrible the way I'm doing it, but that's okay. Terrible, not terrible. Point and direction. There is the point. There is the point, and the direction is Z. Let me make it higher so you can see it there. And now we make a plane. We make a plane between this line and that point. A point and a line. Let's find out. Point and line. Can you find it? Oh yeah, point and line. Okay. Through this point and that line. And there we are. Now we start cutting it. Okay. How do I do that? Split this plane. I'll keep the other side. Doesn't matter. Close that. Try it again. Split this plane. Keep the other side. Say okay. Yep. And then we're going to cut it with that plane. This plane. This plane. Keep the other side. And then say okay. I took the model like that. You could have done the situation when the circle is in the middle and these are flat faces. It'll give you the same thing. It makes no difference. Now, it's very important. File, save management. Actually, let me go ahead and run it. Well, I'll go and run it. I'll go and run it. Start analysis and simulation, generative structure analysis, right there. What do we know? This bottom edge is clamped. Right there, that's clamped. These side faces are all surface slider. This one and that one and that one and that one. Not the circular faces. These are not just the flat faces right there. And a force, distributed force on the top, not 500, divided by 3. Minus 500 divided by 3. 500 divided by 3. Minus 500 divided by 3. Because it's a force, I have to divide it by 3. Now we can run it. Hopefully you didn't forget anything. Don't worry about this warning message. You can look at the deflection. Looks like that. Good, good, good. Now I'm going to save it. File, save management, take the analysis, save as, not the full model, make a new folder called one third model, one third model, how about that? One third model, activity 2, to 2, say open. It's going to go in there, say open, also means save. Do not forget, propagate directory, everything goes into that folder. One third model, say okay. Just to convince you, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close that. I'll go here to my folder. I have full model that should be there. Analysis should be there. Right there, you can see that. I go to the other one third model, the one that I just did, analysis, should be the one third model. It's there. And if I go up and go to my part 1 outside of these, remember, this is the original one that I made. It should be the entire model. Good. Now, why do I want that? Because I want to take 1/6 model. So that's easy. What I need to do, the different ways of doing it, I can cut it with that. I can cut it with this, and then have a line here at 60 degrees and use that for cutting purposes. That's so many different ways of doing it. Okay, so let me actually do it like this. First of all, on that face, let me make my cut. I'll keep the other side. Good. What I want to do now is try to draw, cut this thing at 60 degrees. What's the best way of doing it? What I'm going to do is on that top face, on this top face, I will sketch. On this top face, I'm going to sketch something like this. Watch me. Here, here, here. There we are. And I want this angle to be 60 degrees. So dimension between this and that to be 60 degrees. Good. Exit. And make a pocket all the way to the end. Last spot. There we are. You create this model any way you want. You're good. This is the way I did it. Now, I'm going to run the analysis. So start, analysis and simulation, generative structure analysis. What do we know? This edge is fixed, clapped. Surface sliders. This is a plane of symmetry. This is a plane of symmetry. Turn it around. This is a plane of symmetry. Apply a load distributed on this, but not 500 divided by 3 is divided by 6. So minus 500 divided by 6. Good. Run it. Don't worry about the warning message. There we are. And also, let me deactivate this thing for a second. Where's the match? Oh, this was the deflection. Okay, sorry. Come here, deactivate that. Now, don't put a surface slider on this circular cylindrical face. This is wrong. Now, here come the moment of truth. File, save management, select the analysis, save as, nothing there. Make a new folder, 1.6 model, activity 2, say open. The 6 is wrong spelling. That's okay. Open, save. Do not forget to do the propagate directory. So everything goes into 1.6 model. Bad spelling. Say okay. Let me close this. Convince you everything worked. Convince. Go to that folder. First of all, this part should be the original part. No cuts. There we are. Full model. Analysis. There we are. Up. 6 model. 1.6 model. Analysis. The one that we just did. Up. 1/3 model. Analysis. The one that we did. Remember the angle 60 degrees? The angle was, this angle is 120 degrees, remember? 120 degrees. Okay. So the moral of the story is that we have managed to have all of them done and saved without me touching this part one, which was originally done. Yeah, there will be one more activity here. The reason I'm doing these things the long way, 3 ways, is I want to show you about the saving process. Be careful, because if you're not careful about this, you will not save the proper stuff and submit it on the final exam. All right? Or load it up in the final exam. That's pretty much it, folks.